Hello, this is Christiane Piano, and welcome to your Reset Reflections. This week's reflection is on reflection. And I've chosen to speak to reflection because we have now completed the month of January. So, if you have not taken time since the beginning of year to practice reflection, to practice reflecting, what is it that I'm saying goodbye to at the end of this month? How did life surprise me? How did I meet those surprises? What challenges were present? What am I exploring that's new? What am I allowing myself to say goodbye to let go of? Reflection is an extremely supportive practice in the art of meeting yourself where you are today, right now. So you may want to take a moment and just think about for yourself, do I practice reflection? And if I do, what forms of reflection do I find supportive? And where am I challenged by creating space for reflection? What is my relationship to reflection? Do I like it? Do I think I don't have time for it? Do I run in the other direction because there aren't things I want to think about? They just seem too much. Am I just running on automatic? Is my schedule so jam-packed that there's no room for it? So where are you in relationship to reflection? In relationship to yourself, to the people in your life, to the world in general. So there's many forms that you can use, no one size fits all, to support yourself in reflecting. One could be simply taking a moment to write down, pen and paper. If you're not a pen and paper person, maybe write it down with your computer, with your phone in your notes section, whatever you use. Another way of reflecting is actually recording yourself so you can go back and listen to your own thoughts. Another supportive way of reflecting is maybe a friend or a person you know who will be willing to sit with you and simply listen. No judgment. And hold space for you to gain clarity. It's one thing to be truthful and honest with yourself. It's another to be open and vulnerable and share that truth and honesty with another person. And reflection supports creative expression. Now, how would it support creative expression? Well, it supports gaining clarity in general. And it does require one to be in the space of asking oneself particular questions. And we'll get to those in a moment. But reflection in general supports a development of deeper internal awareness, gaining more clarity on your inner landscape and how that is impacting your experience of yourself and the world. So rather than asking this question, why, it could be more supportive, and you'll have to try this on for yourself, to ask yourself the question, what is happening right here, right now, in my own personal experience? What's going on in my internal landscape? So you drop into the body and you observe. What are my energy levels right now? What is my breathing like? Are any emotions present? What thoughts are present? What physical sensations are present? And am I aware of any patterns? What is my body trying to communicate to me? And be with that question with a sense of curiosity, and I would suggest even playfulness. So you can even do that for yourself right now if you have a moment. You can write that down. What's present for you right now? If you're a student of life, reflection will support you in making sense of material you're studying or an experience that's unfolding. And it will support you in gaining clarity in your relationship to yourself, others, and the conditions that shaped them. It also supports you in having taken a moment to reflect, to create a foundation for future reference. Reflection is a practiced skill, and over time it develops. And if you allow yourself to recognize reflection as a skill, naturally you will give it more time and space and attention. And over time you'll begin to notice how it fuels your growth, your overall body-mind well-being. It does require a pause, so only you can choose the greatest and best and supportive moment for you in your day, in your week, in your month. Now, for some people, it works to create a habitual moment. But for others, that doesn't work. And considering probably the number of things you're managing in your life, being flexible and adaptive and just committed to creating a pause as often as possible to take a moment to sit back and reflect, to observe, suspending judgment. So let's use some examples. Say you're in conversation with somebody, and it's a challenging conversation. After the conversation has unfolded, you can ask yourself, what was supportive of that conversation? What could use some adjusting? What was not supportive of the conversation? And then a question that often gets skipped over, but is essential to new levels of self-awareness and how one experiences self, others, in the world, would be, what did I bring to the situation? How did I contribute? And what can I learn about myself? What did I learn about the other person? And this requires us coming into a conversation as a blank slate. And as you can imagine, when it comes to yourself or someone you're in relationship with for a long time, you think you know. And reflection requires us taking a look at what we bring as filters, as ways of seeing, that doesn't support us in meeting ourself or that other person from a blank slate. As each of us is evolving and growing, whether we're aware of it or not. Even when we feel stuck, that stuckness can be a teacher. Reflection also supports us in seeing, where is my focus? Is it on what I don't want? Or is it on what I would like to invite into my relationship with myself or a conversation I'm having with someone, no matter what the context is, or what I would like in a relationship now today versus what I don't want. Reflection supports gaining clarity, so you can make specific requests based on what's unfolding in today's reality, in your own specific needs. Things that may have been supportive of us, people who may have been supportive of us for a very long time, sometimes they run their course. And when you sit in reflection on what is supportive and what's not, what's working, what's not, am I willing to try on something new? It creates this ability to be adaptive and flexible in meeting yourself where you are. And the more you practice meeting yourself where you are, the more you'll be able to meet situations as they unfold, including the people with whom you interact in daily life. And in BodyMind well-being, it's supportive to be aware of, am I coming from my mind right now? Am I coming from an analytical space? Am I coming from past experience? Or am I coming from my body? Being in your body will support reflection, as body is where silence resides. The silence behind all the noise of the mind. And the more you sit in reflection, you'll notice a natural shift in your relationship to silence. And the responses and the wisdom you'll tap into through sitting in silence. So wherever you are at the end of this month as January comes to completion, what are you ready to say goodbye to? What have you completed? Where would you like to harness your energies, supports, and how would you like to hone that energy and infuse your life for what you're looking to grow in your garden today? You may want to take a moment to reflect on that for yourself. No pressure to decide. But the greater clarity you have in what you would like to see grow in your life, what you would like to invite in, then provides you an opportunity to begin to take a look at what's in the way of that. And perhaps begin to explore that. To invite back flow, and to continually give yourself permission to pause, nourish yourself, and meet yourself exactly where you are. And in doing so, you'll notice you'll be able to practice that more with others. I do hope you found this reflection supportive for yourself. Share it with someone else who you think may be supportive of. And as always, I love to hear from you. what resonated with you in this reflection today. And please feel free to follow to support others in gaining access to this conversation.